Today is Sunday, the 18th of September 2011, and Carolyn and I are here to take the messages for this coming equinox, which is due on Friday the 23rd. And we have a little change in those who are bringing forth these messages today, and the first to come forth is Archangel Sandalphon. And let us see what he has to say. It is time that all of the changes that have been long planned for your beautiful planet begin to come into place. Yes, there have been many false starts, many attempts that have been blocked by those who would prevent this mission from proceeding. And as Father God said for the recent full moon, in a way it is like a microcosm of what has unfolded since the fall in Atlantis, where attempts have been made to bring forth a golden age, to bring forth the changes, only to see it repulsed by the dark. And as some of you understand, life unfolds on many levels, in many cycles, and so you see small cycles unfolding which resonate with greater cycles, and this occurs on many levels. And so what you have witnessed has been attempts to bring forth these changes within the last 2 or so years, only to see those attempts repulsed by the dark. And just as the major cycles lead to their inevitable conclusions, so too do these smaller cycles. And the ending of these smaller cycles is occurring with this equinox. This will be truly the moment when the changes that so many of you have been working very hard to see come forth will indeed emerge. Yes, there were possibilities of it coming forth before this, and indeed on some levels, in some dimensions, very high probabilities of these changes coming forth before now, but they have not. And there is a closure in cycles. Humanity for the most part does not understand this. The cycle that ends with your December solstice of 2012 marks the ending of some very major cycles. And the boundaries of those cycles are fixed and finite. They, you might say, are part of creation itself at a fundamental level. And so they will unfold regardless of the intention of any particular being. That is their nature. And yes, humanity has free will, but most of humanity does not understand that that free will exists within the cycle boundaries. Major cycles will be as major cycles will be, and the intent or desire of the individual to resist those cycles is futile. You have choices within that ending, as you understand. You can choose to acknowledge your Creator or deny His existence. That is your choice. And this will determine which way your soul moves from that moment. But that is the limit of the choice. Beyond that, there are variables. You can begin to visualize your life as you wish to see it, beyond that transition that awaits you, should you choose to acknowledge your Creator. But you will participate in that separation that will occur, that transition away from the current level of consciousness upon your planet. And so there must be a time of preparation for such an ending. And my dear friends, this equinox that is about to join you is that fixed and finite boundary that defines this period of preparation. And so I come forth to share this with you, because in a sense my role includes overseeing these major cycles. And so I come forth to share this information with you at this time. And so it is.
Good afternoon, my friends. This might seem strange that I come to you because I have never spoken to you directly before. It has always been through my representative, but I choose to come forth today because in the way of cycles, this equinox represents an important part of the journey. It certainly isn't as important as those energies that will come in 2012. But the ending of this year, if you wish to look at this as being the last equinox for the year, sets up a foundation. Yes, as you know, energies have come forth through every full moon, through every solstice, through every equinox. In this respect, nothing has changed. What has changed is, as you know, energy comes through directly, taking its passageway through the interaction of planets, placements of planets. This equinox, that will not change. What will change is there has been a directional change from the source of all in this cosmos. The one that some people call all there is. In a way, you might say, the master creator of everything in this cosmos. And this being, it is hard to understand its complexities. When humans call the creator of all God, it sounds like such a simple thing, so to speak. And yes, you understand that all the creative abilities come directly from this source, but what is not understood is the magnificent complexity of this being. Those of you who understand somewhat the biology and physiology of the human being, you understand how complex your brain is. Your brain is involved in every single movement, interaction of organs and systems within the body, at least on some level. In a sense, it has designated certain patterns that appear to move on their own, to be independent, so to speak. Yet behind all of this, the brain functions in a very orderly and passionate, you might say, manner. And to a certain extent, humanity understands how the brain functions, how different parts of the brain control, organize different parts of the body, the thinking process. And in a sense, this being that you call God, that you consider the creative force behind every action in the cosmos, is organized in a similar manner. So much of what is found on Earth is really but a reflection of the heavens. Patterns in the heavens and the cosmos has been used to bring forth the diversity on your planet. What is unusual about this equinox is that there are parts of the construction of all there is, Prime Creator, that is more involved in not only the direction but the intensity of the energies that will be coming forth during this equinox. As I said, it will mount a foundation, and this foundation will be built upon by so many directions. During this next ensuing months, energies will be coming from all parts of the cosmos. And this sequence that the Prime Creator will be sending through during this equinox will, in effect, not only monitor, but balance, coordinate, integrate all of these different sources of power and energy. There are very few that understand the magnificence and the power, the organization of Prime Creator and this particular process. And it is why I have come forth to bring this information, because I not only understand it, I watch it, and I help bring forth that integration. It is not that I have claimed this power, but rather I have been designated to assist in this manner. And the reason for this is that the planning of what went on in your planet in particular, but this solar system and even this galaxy, as you might understand, was not only set up by Prime Creator, but the entire plan was organized and put together even before Earth came into form. We knew the directions that life would take upon this planet. We did not always understand every choice, because there was a wide range of free will between the light and the dark, And the dark was given sway here for eons of time. It's not necessary for me to explain all the reasons, but it set up opportunities, though you may not think of the deeds that the dark has done to be opportunities, but nevertheless, it was. It would be difficult for you to understand that if only the light were here on this planet, it would be very difficult for humanity to rise to the glory, understanding, and courage that many in humanity have undertaken, explored, and acclimated into their soul history. If you look at some of the events in your history, there has been what you might call evil and strife. But the condition of the humane actions, humanity itself in its most glorious position, would never have had the opportunity to rise to the pinnacle of power and courage that it did indeed take. This was perhaps an ultimate experience that came forth from the Creator. And you might say it covered a very long period indeed. For those of the light who wish to be free from the dark, it might seem like that period of time was way too long. It's difficult for humanity, who for the most part has had a finite period of years living on the planet. But for the hand of God, for the hand of the Creator, it is but a bit of breath, intake, outtake. Their history is so long that it is difficult to comprehend. A round of Brahma is way beyond your understanding, and yet the intake and the outtake of Brahma is a lifespan, if you wish to use that word, or span of experience that is but one diamond in the crown of the Creator. And so that period on earth that it has gone through, with the light and the dark cohabitating your planet, in the eyes of the Creator, was a very short time. And the Creator knew that that number of years would be enough experience for the soul to gather all that it could gather. And I tell you, my friends, even though the dark held sway, those who believed in the light gathered compassion and love, understanding of what was truly its heart's desire, and bravery way beyond your understanding. We look upon life as it has evolved on the planet, and we are looking here of the structure where the soul has grown through. The round and round of activities where the soul has moved through what it might consider victory and loss. Lifetimes where perhaps it might seem like nothing happened, but they were resting periods. In between the struggle and the strife, there was victory and glory. And yes, there were times of rest. It was for your sake that you did not remember all of this as you passed through those cycles. But the time is quickly upon you where you will begin to remember this, where you will connect to your soul's strength and growth, and at long last begin to understand who you are, what you are, and the growth that you have won. And I say won because yes, it is in this that you have the victory of the heart. You have the victory of compassion. You have the victory of understanding in a much greater manner that one that created you. And so we have come forth today, Sandalthon and myself, to give you a picture, something to contemplate, something to understand that you are not adrift. You are not a tree bending in the wind of storms, but rather you are a signpost pointing your heart to the center of the cosmos to begin picking up the signals of your expression. And it will slowly begin with this equinox. We will come back later to help you sort through the information that you are receiving. And so it is through love that we are with you. And so it is through love that we stand by you. And so it is through love that we carry out the directives of Prime Creator. So it is.